What's up, guys? I'm Jay. The semester is winding down, but I figured I'd do a few more videos before the end. Right now I have the Rayven here, and you might be wondering why I'm doing another video on the Rayven. Didn't I do a trigger pull mod a while back? And yes, I did do a trigger pull mod a while back. You could check that out here, but as a modifier, I'm constantly revamping, reworking, and trying to better my techniques and my modifications. So I reopened this, cleaned up the circuit, and changed the return spring location. And the trigger pull is much better now. But there are also some more things that you could do to this. So I'm going to be showing you what you need to do to clean up the circuit, as well as some motors that you can get that will make this really powerful and actually effective on the Nerf battlefield. So these mods will apply to the Elite Rayven as well, seeing as the internals are exactly the same. So if you have an Elite Rayven and not a regular Rayven, never fear, because the mods will be exactly the same. The motors that I have are number 611 from, they're made by Solarbotics. They look like this when they arrive, and they're from Pololu, if that's how you pronounce it. Here's the sticker, Pololu, yeah. So, yeah, pretty much, these are drop-in replacement parts, so all you have to do is remove the flywheels and unsolder like the wires and stuff from the original motors and just replace them with those motors, and the power difference is incredible. These same motors will work in the Elite Strife. My roommate has the Strife and the upgrade motors, and they are ridiculous. So I'm going to go ahead and take this apart and show you what it looks like, and I'm going to do a noise comparison with 4 AA batteries for the regular motors, the stock motors, and the upgrade motors. So, yeah. Okay, guys, sorry for the shaky cam. My tripod is broken, so can't really use it. So here is what the internals of the Rayven look like after I've modified them. So I'm just going to kind of talk you guys through what I've done to make this really a much more effective blaster. So see these two things right over here? These were in these two places, and they're pretty much completely unnecessary. And what you do is you snip them off as close to the circuit boards as possible. You, with a very sharp knife, and be very careful of this, you cut the insulation off of it, and then you twist the copper fibers around each other and tape it down with some electrical tape. And so that cleans up the circuit, and I've done that with all the electronic locks. I've removed the ones that are in here and the one that's right here. And if you look closely at this, let me see if I can refocus. You can see that I've completely cut off the white and blue wires. They're completely unnecessary. All you want is the circuit going from the motors to the rev trigger to the batteries. And to complete the circuit, it's the battery to the motor. So, what I did is I noticed that when I was pulling the trigger, the rev trigger would start up too. So I dremeled that down. So if you want to do that, you can totally do that. And I added a trigger catch spring from some other blaster, and that fit in there perfectly, and that allows it to spring forward. But here's the really neat trick that I came up with. If you are if you, like many, don't like the trigger pull on the Rayven, here's a way to fix it. Unscrew this stuff. Underneath is the spring. It'll be in this area. Take that out, remove it completely, and take a drill and drill a little angled hole in this. Take a return spring from another blaster, hot glue one side of it to the back here, and thread it through the hole, and the trigger pull is super smooth. It pulls better than the Strife, excuse me. It pulls much better than the Strife. What I had before was, let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's see. Yeah, look at this mangled thing right here. It's got a piece of rubber band on it. Yeah, that was the return spring, and it was threaded through here and connected to this part. And that was terrible. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove the stock motors and replace them with the Solarbotics number 611 kick-ass motors. That'll be my official name for them, the kick-ass motors. So yeah, I'm going to go and do that and show you guys afterwards. I'm not going to show you guys the soldering, because that would take forever. Soldering is a tedious process, and it is not easy. So if you don't know how to solder, I'd suggest you find someone who does, or just do the stuff that doesn't require soldering and leave it with the stock motors. Put a truss fire or two in it, because once you remove these two pieces right over here, it will no longer inhibit you from using lower voltage, or from using higher voltage, excuse me. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and remove the motors and put the new ones in and show you guys a noise level comparison with 4 AA's, and we'll be good to go. Yeah. So just something real quick I wanted to touch on before I started soldering. One of the most nerve-wracking parts of trying to replace motors on a flywheel blaster is trying to get the flywheels off without snapping them. And I was actually very surprised at how easy it was to get these off. And basically what you do is you take one screwdriver on one side underneath and the other screwdriver on the other side of the wheel, and you just pry upward evenly and it just pops right off. Just be careful, don't do it too hard or you might damage it. But that is the method I've found works the easiest. You can pull at it all you want, but unless it's an even upward force, it doesn't really go much of anywhere. So yeah, that I'm really surprised that it came apart that easily. So just be careful of that. Don't try using pliers or anything, just thin screwdrivers, one on either side of the flywheel, and just pop one off, then repeat, and that works really well, and they just press right back on. So it's really simple. Just be careful and, don't be hasty about it. Okay guys, so I have soldered the motors successfully and they're being put back in as we speak. Here they are. And those yellow things, if you're not very familiar with electronics and that kind of stuff, and electrical Nerf guns, all the Nerf flywheel blasters have these, and it's pretty much, they're called resistors, and I left them in because it's easier to solder the motors on that way. I didn't need to use pieces of wire. That's what you can do, but with thinner gauge wire like this, it's really not easy, and with my roommate's Hailfire I did it, but for this, I just left it in because it really doesn't make that much of a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back together and do a rev test for you guys, shoot up a few darts, and we'll be good to go. Yeah. Alright guys, so I have completed the upgrades for the motors. I've reworked the circuit, taken out all the electrical safeties, all the resistors, and the motors are actually, I would want to say that they're quieter, but I'm going to rev it up for you guys and compare it to the to before stock motors, fully revved, and that's what it sounds like. So I'm really impressed. I'll just show you guys me firing it off. These are elite darts. I also took off the little rubber black part that covers the entrance hole for the flywheels, because it's just not necessary. So here's 6 darts, and the rate of fire is ridiculous, and I want to say that these are just AA's in here, so the output is much higher than the stock motors, and they'll be able to handle like 1 or 2 truss fires or ultra fires. I'd recommend ultra fires because they don't have the electrical safety on them, but yeah, if you don't know how to get ultra fires or truss fires, then you've never used Google before, and I feel bad for you. So yeah, that is the upgrade mods for the Rayven, the Elite, and the regular Rayven, because they're exactly the same. I'm just really impressed with how quiet the motors are and how little vibration there is. They sit really well in the white plastic part inside here, so all in all, I might actually use this now in a Nerf war or something. So I'm just gonna slap some truss fires in it and kick butt. So yeah, if you like what you see, please subscribe. Remember, modding can damage the internals of the gun, so do so at your own risk. I repeat, I am not responsible for you damaging your own blaster, so make sure you remember that. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I got more stuff in the works. yeah, have a fun day. One more thing. Just as a heads up, guys, I'm in no way affiliated with Polalu or Solarbotics. I just really love these motors. You can purchase them here or in the description below, and that is the